Welcome back to another video. Today I am explaining Chastityful and or King's Sacred Treasure or King's abilities. As we know, Spirit Chastityful is King's Sacred Treasure and a holy weapon created from the sacred tree found only in the fairy realm. And there's different Chastityfuls because there was different sacred trees. As for instance, the first Fairy King has probably the most powerful version of Chastityful just because it was the first iteration of the fairy tree, at least in my own headcanon. Anyway, within that, King Spirit is made as an immensely powerful weapon, and since King's ability Disaster, he is able to draw it out in multiple qualities and multiple forms. Of course, now mostly I will be talking about the Awakened True form, but they of course were original forms that we see in the first season and second season of Seven Deadly Sins. Within that, Chastityful does have 10 forms and can be shifted from one to another at King's will. Of course, Force Form 1 Chastityful, at least a full Awakened Chastityful, on the appearance of a great spear that taking the appearance of a large long staff with a decorative flower design. Of course, the subversions, or at least the attacks he uses, is Bumblebee, where he is able to split it into multiple attacks. Saibiri no Yari, he just loads a lot of magical power into Chastityful and just throws it at the opponent. And Nagebe Hari makes Chastityful gives a big circular cut. Now, of course, Form 2 Guardian, which we see the most of in this show, always, is the fully second form, and of course is the large muscular green teddy bear with a multitude of arms, drastically increasing its strength and attack capabilities. It was enough to at least to prevent Zeldris from attacking Merlin. And Form 4 Sunflower, the fully awakened fourth form of Chastityful, at least fourth form of Chastityful, appears as a larger flower with a bulk and spiked body. Now, I would say, for research purposes, I tried to see if they had a third form. As far as I know, or as far as my research before I had to record this video, they did not have a third form. Now, it was rumored to be a third form, but it was just never introduced. Anyway, with Form 5 in its fully awakened fifth form, Chastityful appears as a large array of double-edged blades with and has more speed and power than them. Of course, the subsidiary to this form is Fight Fire with Fire, as it allows the technique to focus all the blades that compromise Chastityful in a single downward strike against an opponent. Form 8, truly awakened form, in its 8th form, King's Pollen Guardian, has gained more power than before. This form allows for an egg-shaped pattern barrier capable of not only fully healing and containing itself around multiple people, including a giant, but is capable of withstanding and defending against a massive powerful attack from Mael, one of the 4 archangels, who power at that time, he was called Esteros, who power is greatly enhanced by the power of his commandments. Of course, secretly, the subsidiary to this technique is that King disperses the sacred tree pollen from his barrier, reversing any mind-affecting magic. We see that mostly. I'm trying to think when we see that. Do we see that in Four Knights of the Apocalypse? I know we see that in Seven Deadly Sins when he has to fight his former best friend, and we see that awakened form, and he heals Diane and mostly everyone on that battlefield in that little helmet. Within that battlefield, and it comes at great use. Now, there is 10 forms of Chastityful as mentioned in the beginning of this video, but we have only been shown 7, 8, 5, 4, 1. Right. Oh, my fault. Form 3 never got a truly awakened form. That's why my research was dull. Alright, my fault. This form of Chastityful, at least for Form 3, I'm just going to use the original form, is a twin-headed spear with a spearhead shaped like the claws of a crab. And this form has the ability to petrify any individual whom it pierces, as he tried to do with Bond. Still didn't kill Bond, but why would it? Now, Form 7, Luminosity. This allows Chastity transforms into a luminescent ring spear that illuminates the surrounding area, as it acts as a torch that allows the user to easily see in dark places. Again, still no Form 8 or 9. Now, the strongest Chastityful or strongest spear that we know of is the original Fairy Kings, as we see it clearly outmatched King's ability with the spear and had different forms of the spear as we know. But there are 10 versions. There's only 8 that we see. Maybe 9 and 10 is so bad that we'll just never get to see it. And or with the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, maybe it'll be a last ditch effort. But of course, the Camelot, or at least Chaos people, are avoiding the 7 deadly sins at all costs, just to have the show go on. Anyway, like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.